Hi guys and welcome back to JankQuest. Today we have a profile coming to you from the Pokémon trading card game from the newly launched set Paldea Evolved. It showcases a deck which is showing a lot of promise coming up in the current meta. And that deck is none other than Chien-Pao and Baxcalibur. So this deck started seeing a bit more coverage now, and recently over in Taiwan it's seen top 4 finishes in juniors as well as top 8 and top 4 finishes in Masters. This is big news as since its launch, Chien-Pao only averaged about 7% of the day 1 meta in major tournaments and dropped out on day 2, but now we're starting to see the deck performing more optimally. So let's take a look at the build that we've got for you today and what makes Chien-Pao so promising. We've got a special thank you to our friends over at Nerdmania for helping us out with the deck today, providing us with a couple of the cards that we needed. So starting off with this, we're running 3 copies of Chien-Pao. As well as being one half of the main engine for the deck, Chien-Pao is also the primary attacker at our disposal. With its Shivery Chill ability, it provides an answer to Velocicapacious Bucket to rotation and allows you to search your deck for up to 2 basic water energies, reveal them, put them in your hand and shuffle your deck, providing that Chien-Pao is in the active spot. This is also not limited to once per turn, but rather once per Chien-Pao, meaning if you have multiple Chien-Pao in play you can literally use Shivery Chill to your heart's content and grab as much energy as you need. Its attack Hailblade is also able to hit for impressive numbers for 2 water energy, dealing 60 damage for each water energy discarded from your Pokemon. That's not just Chien-Pao, that is any of your Pokemon on the board. We are then running a 3-3 line of Frigibax and Baxcalibur, missing out the stage 1 in Artifax, which we'll address later, but this however completes the second half of our main engine. So Chien-Pao's Shivery Chill ability lets you grab your water energy, then Baxcalibur's Super Cold lets you, as often as you like during your turn, attach a basic water energy from hand to one of your Pokemon. This is reminiscent of previous abilities, most notably Blastoise's Rain Dance or Deluge ability, letting you accelerate as much water as needed to take the KO with Chien-Pao's Hailblade. It's these abilities that form the main engine of a deck and provide so much potential to it. Supporting this, we have a copy of Radiant Greninja, where we're able to utilise its Conceal Cards ability. Being able to search for 2 water energy with Chien-Pao sets up your hand perfectly to utilise Conceal Cards, discarding a basic energy and drawing in 2 cards. With a couple of new reprinted cards, which we'll talk about shortly, having energy in the discard isn't even necessarily a bad thing anymore. Also seeing a return here to the deck with a 1-1 line of Palkia V and Palkia V-Star, providing a good second attack option in the deck with its Subspace Swell, which hits for 60 plus 20 for each bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. And its V-Star Power Style Portal provides additional energy acceleration for those instances where Baxcalibur isn't set up. We're then running a 2-2 line of Bidoof and Bibarel. And of course we're using the Carefree Countenance Bidoof from Crown Zenith to protect itself while on the bench, but once set up we have access to Bibarel's Industrious Incisors ability, which allows us to draw until we have 5 cards in hand once per Bibarel per turn. This ability is even better now with the introduction of Iono, who in the mid to late game looks to limit your hand size. However, Bibarel will just fill this right back up for you, preventing what could potentially be a game losing hand. We are then running 1 copy of Luminion V, again helping us to search out our supporters when we need them. It's also good to note that with the acceleration provided from Baxcalibur, we can also make use of the Aqua Return attack, hitting for 120 and allowing you to shuffle back into your deck as well as all the cards attached. We're then finishing off our Pokemon list with a copy of Kyogre from Crown Zenith, whose Dynamic Wave attack for 3 water and 1 colourless energy snipes the bench for 180, taking easy KO on something like the aforementioned Luminion V, whilst returning 3 energy back to hand to be accelerated again by Baxcalibur, preserving your advantage should Kyogre itself be KO'd on the following turn. And lastly we are running 1 copy of Manaphy for our own bench protection from potential snipes. Moving on to the supporters, there seems to be a common trend of Chien-Pao decks, and that trend is none other than Irida. Irida is a must and is played as a straight 4-of, allowing you to grab any water Pokemon and an item card in your deck, has far too much potential to pass up on, and can lead to many advantageous combinations when used correctly. For one example, on turn 2 using Irida to grab Baxcalibur and a rare candy can put you straight into a winning position, Or how about going second turn 1, being able to fish out the Battle VIP pass you missed out on in your opening hand. We'll then play 2 copies of Boss's Orders for the classic gusting ability it provides, and rounding out the deck with 3 one-off supporters in the form of Thornton, Roxanne, and the new card Iono. Thornton's a bit of a niche pick here, however with so many Pokemon options available, I think that being able to replace an active basic Pokemon with a basic Pokemon from a discard may catch a lot of players out, especially when all cards remain attached to the new Pokemon. This could lead to some interesting plays and potentially aid in solving the issue with such a high Pokemon count in the deck. Roxanne is here for its classic comeback potential, bringing your opponent down to a 2-card hand if they have 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. And Iono is the new card that everyone is talking about since Paldea Evolve came out. It allows you to shuffle your hand to the bottom of your deck and draw cards equal to your remaining prize cards, making it great both early and late game plays, causing disruption to your opponent in the process. Moving on to our item cards, we have our main Pokemon search options, playing 2 Nest Ball, 3 Ultra Ball, and finishing off with 3 Battle VIP Pass. Following this with 3 copies of Rare Candy. This is what's going to make that loss of artifacts to the deck not so detrimental, allowing us to evolve straight up into Baxcalibur from the Frigibax. And then we are playing 5 newly reprinted cards, which help Chien-Pao decks out quite considerably. The first one is a 4 of in Superior Energy Retrieval, which allows you to discard 2 from hand, search up to 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile, which obviously can then be accelerated once again by Baxcalibur. And we're finishing with 1 copy of Super Rod. So the Super Rod's great as it allows you to shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy back into your deck, which again Chien-Pao can take advantage of. We're then playing a single copy of Switch, Escape Rope, Lost Vacuum, and the Cancelling Cologne. And then for our stadium of choice, we are utilising Skaters Park as a 2 of, which synergises really well with Chien-Pao and Baxcalibur, as it allows you to put any energy that you'd normally discard from retreating a Pokemon straight back into your hand, and allows you to power up your next attacker ready to go straight away. And then we round out the list today with 10 copies of basic Water Energy, which may not seem like a lot at first, but with all of our recovery options, it seems to achieve the right balance. And that concludes the profile today for you. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.